29, I believe it is. We've taken a few weeks off. We haven't been around due to the holidays, so hope you guys understand. I hope you guys had a great holiday season with your friends and family and just had a lot of good times. I know we did, and we're going to talk about that here in a moment. But first, as always, shout out to Strictly Business Gaming for what they're doing. They're down in Philly right now doing work. I'm not sure how they're doing right now exactly at the time of recording, but we'll know for next week's episode, and we'll discuss that. I'm here with WhackMed19 as always.
Hey, what's up?
And due to TacticalOyster, he got to go to the playoff game for the Panthers, I believe it is. So he's down doing that, so he couldn't make it here today. You know, all that scheduling conflict stuff. It happens. But hey, we're back. We got a great show. We got some good topics, and it's been a while since we've been together. So first off, what have we been up to? So WhackMed, kind of what have you been up to, and how was your holiday season?
My holidays have been great. I got a new monitor, and that everything's a little weird looking, and the guys who've been guests on the show and who do the show regularly with us know that the me getting the technical stuff set up is always weird, and with the new monitor it made things even a little bit worse. I've been doing lots of family stuff for Christmas, and it just takes a lot going on, which is why we did do the rescheduling of this episode and put it off over the holidays. Just we do a lot of stuff. I mean, I don't know what you do for Christmas, but like Christmas night we go to family, and then the day after or the day of Christmas we do Christmas with my parents, and then Christmas with my wife's parents, and then Christmas with my dad's mom, and like we're straight running and gunning the whole time. So.
Yeah, when it used to be like that for me when I was younger, you know, going to like my stepdad's house, or you know, families, and then my, you know, doing our families and just all that. Now it's kind of pretty chill. I mean, most of my extended family is not close by, not within a good, you know, an easy driving distance. So it's just me and my like immediate family and my grandma. So, and they're super close by, like, so I just hang out there, and we do, you know, we do there. Sometimes, like in years past, I've kind of towards like dessert time or like evening time, I've always gone to my girlfriend's parents' house and kind of just hanging out there as well. So try to hit up both. But this year was a little different because we wanted to go see The Hobbit. So me and my family did. So we ended up doing that during the evening. That was always fun, and I don't know. There's always it's a little weird going to a movie on Christmas Day, you know, because usually things are closed. But it was kind of cool, and I enjoyed it. Fantastic movie, by the way.
So that's becoming a thing. We're gonna have to put off the movie talk till.
No, that's fine.
For just a little bit.
That's fine.
But is becoming a thing to go watch movies on Christmas.
It really is, and I was telling my mom, and it was like, you know, we gotta get there early. Not only is this movie pretty new, but a lot of people also do this as well. So like we gotta. And I love the movies. That's like one of my favorite things to do is go to the movies. I love the entire experience of it. And I get there early, like hour early for the most time. I don't know. I just do that. I want to make sure I get the seat I want, and I gotta have all, like, you know, my candy ready, you know, a drink and all that stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm kind of weird like that, but yeah, that's kind of what we did. And then New Year's was pretty chill. Typically, like, I've got this close group of high school friends that I've grown up with, and we're all together. But over the years, as we are getting older and becoming more of adults, we've kind of grown apart. So this year, we weren't all able to get together, but I was able to get together with one of them and his wife now, because he got married over the summer. So we just hung out at their house and brought our dog and just kind of chilled. And it was pretty laid back. I had a few drinks, and it was good. It was good.
Cool. New Year's Eve for me is a little bit of fireworks, but it's mostly just family getting together again to eat, and that's crazy. See, like, at least on Christmas, we've decided, or some of the ladies in the family decided, that most of them were going to eat together for breakfasts or brunches, and then later in the day again for lunch with another portion of the family. So for supper, it's like, really, we're full already. Just you're hurting us. So we decided to do sandwiches for Christmas supper, which was great because we still did like real turkey and real ham, but instead of all the fixings to go with it, it was just light bread and sandwich fixings, and that made it a lot more tolerable. But again, you give up on like that portion of the family's broccoli casseroles and those dishes.
Yeah,
So
those
it's just,
those family secret dishes. I hear you.
yeah. So again, for New Year's, different portion of the family we get together, and we don't do the midnight stuff. And I think that's why we do so well at getting together. Is get together at 6 o'clock, which is about dark,
Mm.
and start eating around that time, and then sit by a fire for a little while, and it's like, okay, food's digested, and the kids are over playing, and let's do whatever fireworks we have. And at that point, you do your fireworks. At the end of the fireworks, you do a little cleanup and make sure everybody's got their casserole bowls or whatever, and everybody can go home and be home by 10 o'clock ish and go to sleep. Like, I was in bed by 10:30. It was
Yeah.
beautiful. Like, what'd you do to ring in the New Year's? Snored. It was great. I'm telling you, best. So I had to get up at 4 a.m. and go to work anyway. So being in bed
Yeah.
by 10 was pretty nice. But did you have any New Year's resolutions?
Well, by resolutions, if you mean goals, then and yes, I definitely have some goals that I want to accomplish this year. Not only with YouTube, but in my personal life as well. But we'll just cover YouTube and gaming, since that's what this show is about, and that's what we're here for. Um, for YouTube, I mean, we've all three of us have been growing at a good pace. I'm very happy with the results. But me, like, I really want to hit at least 1K subs by the end of the year. Um, and I, as of right now for YouTube, I kind of feel like I'm getting into my own niche and kind of the content I like to produce and do. So I'm hoping to expand upon that and get a little bit more creative as far as different series that I want to do on my channel. But mostly just hit the 1K subs. And then one of the other goals, along with gaming, that I really want to do this year, assuming I can afford it and find someone to go with, hopefully one of my friends, is I want to go to PAX Prime this year. It's up in Seattle, so it's not too far away from me. Um, and I've heard so many great things about that expo, and for the last couple of years I've been really wanting to go, and I just want to make it happen this year, assuming I can get my hands on a ticket. But yeah, I would say that those are the two biggest things this year.
So I've never done the what are they called? Resolutions. I've never done
Yeah.
resolutions. I've never. First of all, I'd forget about them. I would just
Yeah.
completely forget about them. As far as YouTube goes, I have my own YouTube things that I would like to accomplish, but they're really trivial, and trying to publicize them or releasing them so that people would know about them would make me look petty.
Hmm.
And like, one of them is to receive a paycheck from YouTube, and I don't want it to sound like I'd like to make a ton of money from YouTube. I just want to get a check, just to say, hey, it's a milestone, something was accomplished. Like when you hit 1K, or when I hit 100 subs, when I
Yeah.
hit 50 subs, it was like, I did something. I did
Yep.
that. And I don't set those numbers because I don't want to make it. I want it to be organic. I want it to feel
Yeah.
natural. I want my realization at whatever number that is. I want that realization to be like, oh wow, I did that. When I got to 275, I was like, maybe at 300 subs I'll do something. I'm like, I just don't. I mean, for me, see, like, it was when I hit 200 videos, I was like, hey, I want to do something for 200 videos.
Yeah.
And when I hit 100 videos, I want to do something for that. But trying to set goals, just for me, it kind of lessens it. Maybe it's also has something to do with the fact that I don't try to keep up with remembering what they would be anyway. Like, I have to get to a 1,000 subs. What do you do if you don't? I don't. It's just not my style, not my thing.
Sure.
So I know eventually, if you keep plugging away, you will get some things, and those are the things that I kind of like to go for, because I know I'm not gonna have 200 million subscribers. I'm not going to make CBS and Fox and ABC wish they had my following. That's just, I mean, this nation would be completely different if they thought I was cool enough for that.
No, I totally understand what you're saying. By me saying yes, I want to hit 1K subs, by the end of the year. If I don't hit it, I don't. But for me, it's like I know some things that are working for me to get subs. So I want to focus on those, and I don't mean like sell out or make tutorial videos or whatever that everyone wants to watch and sub to. Nothing like that, but like things that I enjoy doing that I know or that other people are enjoying as well. If I continue with that, I know I can get results. So from a business standpoint, I mean that's what you do. So that's kind of why I set an attainable number just to shoot for. And you're right. Growth on YouTube is completely organic, and it has to be. You can't force it, and if you do, it's not real, and it's not right. But I totally see what you're saying. That's cool. And I think the paycheck thing is really cool. Like, I don't think it's like a sellout thing or anything like that. I totally understand for the fact that you just want to see something, and if it was physical, how cool would that be? Just like something saying, I did that, get a frame for it, whatever. I did that.
The way it works with getting paid, which I'd be receiving a check from Fullscreen, but you have to get to a threshold, and then they pay you. So like all the money that I've earned so far, they're holding. And they're actually making money off of my money and everybody else's money who hasn't reached that threshold. So once it gets to that threshold, then the next month they'll cut me a check and they'll send it to me. That's going to be a really small check, but still at the same time it will be something. And it's kind of like, that first dollar that you ever earned from, washing somebody's car, or cutting grass for them, or, taking their trash out, or whatever it is that you did to earn your first dollar. It may have been a real job. Yep. That's important because it was like, hey, I did something. And my worth, my time, what I traded out a piece of myself for this. And that means something to me. Maybe maybe some people are completely bored with this conversation, but
well, you know what, it applies to anything. I mean, when you get a reward for your hard work, despite what that reward is or how little or how big it is, that's an accomplishment. And with YouTube, it's very unobtainable, and once you actually see that it is obtainable, that's a milestone. So I completely get what you're coming from.
Punkman tweeted the other day that he hit, what was it, 100,000
100K views. Dude, Punkman is rocking it right now because he just tweeted out today, at the day of this recording, he hit 700 subs.
Yes, he did. Saw that.
So he's killing it, and I'm happy for the guy. And I got to be honest, man, that guy's really cool. I love gaming with him. Now that we're, we both got the PlayStation 4s and we play Battlefield together every now and then. He's awesome. He's a great guy. I'm really glad we kind of got him in the circle.
Your PS4 brothers are there. It's funny you say PS4 brothers, but he tweeted out just a few minutes ago a picture of ghosts on PS4. So, which I know you
did. He really?
Did you get new glasses?
Yes, these are they're not Gunners. They're a different company that I really wanted to try. I think the company is VC Eyewear. They're like a Gamer's Edge or something like that. I wanted to try them out, so my grandma hooked me up for Christmas and got me the orange frames. So
they're very reflective.
They are. I've noticed that when I record with them.
Yeah. They're
very reflective. Like, my Gunners don't reflect this much.
Man, look there's a bunch of me in the frame right now.
Yeah. It's just like looking in the mirror, huh? Almost. No, they're pretty cool though. They're a lot cheaper than Gunners. That's why I wanted to try them out. Like a fraction of the price, yeah. Cool. So they're pretty cool. It's weird because and this is not to knock on the company or anything like that, but when I play first-person shooters, I think it's just me because I get motion sickness pretty easily when I'm wearing these. I almost get like vertigo or something. I don't know. But when I wear my Gunners, I don't.
There was a specific map in Modern Warfare 3 that gave me motion sickness. It's the one with the. It was in one of the later DLCs, and it's
Was it
like
the one that was atop the skyscraper?
no, it was like
No,
a
okay.
cement mixing yard or something like that, and it was I don't know. There was like it was a sniper map, is what it seemed like, on one on each side. Foundation, does that sound right? And
I
the
cannot
middle of
remember
it
the
was
master.
like scale, or not scale. It was like metal lattices that you climbed around in the middle. But I
Was
think it
there a
was like a
plane
cement
crash to the
plant.
right of it?
I think it was in the same. I think it was in the same. That was Black Box. I think that
Oh, okay.
it
I
was in the
like that map a lot.
same uh, DLC pack. I think, but I think this one's called Foundation. And anyway, it gave me vertigo because of the. I think it was because of the lines. Um, I don't know what it was, but I would play the map, and that was back when I was playing on 40 something inches, and just looking around on the map would by the end of a match, I'd be nauseated, just completely nauseated. There were times that I would have to go hide in a corner and like look
Yeah.
away, do something else with my entire visualization. You're freaking out on me, man. Your colors are going wacky.
Oh, I know you froze too. Now I'm going into strobe light mode.
Yeah, I like it. I'm still here.
Dance
Doo-doo.
party.
This isn't
Does this
cool.
look cool?
No, because we're screen capturing. So that means that they get to see. Like, are you doing that on purpose?
Well, I was trying to block the camera to see what happened.
Oh, that's not cool.
What the heck, dude? That's weird.
Colin, what's
Dude,
going
I'm
on
green.
behind me is a complete. I don't know. Are you coming back? Is this something
I
you've done on
might.
purpose?
No, I didn't do anything. Let me try something here.
Okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, Norma Jean. No, you ever. We're gonna have to.
We're back.
There we go.
Heyo, we're back.
Hey.
Maybe.
Yeah. Oh no, we're getting all pixelated, dude. What's wrong with
Okay.
your camera? We
I,
may have to
it should be
go.
nothing. I didn't do anything.
I don't know. I like it. I mean, it's not me. I'm doing good over here. I got no.
No, I know. I don't. I don't. It's my like connection's fine and everything. This is weird.
I think it's your camera. Wiggle it.
Well, that's gonna be very frustrating.
Wiggle it just a little bit. No? Yes?
Ah, man, technical
Dude,
difficulties.
love this. I hope this is entertaining for everybody else. This poor old video quality is as bad as some of this movie that I went to see, and I want to give a spoiler alert. I'm gonna go on a
Well,
monologue.
before you dive into that, because I really want to get into this topic, because I'm curious to get into it. I'm gonna get out and get back in.
Okay, so I'll have to go on without.
I hate
you
to do
for a
it.
few minutes. Man, I tell you, go ahead and go, and I'll fill time.
Okay.
That trying to put on a podcast like this is great. It's a lot of fun. However, when things don't go just right, when things don't go just right, it's no fun at all, and it kind of. I'm gonna go ahead and get rid of one camera here for a second. It's very. It takes a lot of your. Okay, I can't do two things at once. I'm sorry. Look, you get to see me fail. Invitation posted. It's very disconcerting whenever you're trying to do something and do it live and can't. Like, I was just trying to talk and can't do it. When your camera messes up or when you have any technical difficulties whatsoever and things don't go exactly the way you want them to, it's bothersome. On another note, you should do what you can to get rid of these technical difficulties, because you don't want them to happen. So you want someone else to control the technical issues if you can. As you can tell, since I'm the only one still here, that the... Oh, there I am bigger. since I'm the only one still here, I'm the one that takes care of the technical stuff. But if your camera's messed up, like Bonfire's might be, or it may be anything else, like he's not coming back. So, uh, to there he comes. To have something bad go on in the middle, your camera's not on though. To have something bad go on in the middle of a podcast, you're still green.
I can see that.
Oh, okay. It's bothersome. You just don't want it to happen. And now I can't make me smile.
Oh boy.
Wanna move? Yay! No? Yes?
I don't understand what's going on.
Okay. We're gonna go on like this?
We're gonna have to for now.
Okay.
I'll try to diagnose it.
Wow. This sucks.
This really does suck.
They've just got me. That's all they've got.
It's got to be something with Google. Thanks, Google. We really appreciate it.
Do you want to drop out and come back one more time?
I could try because I opened the program I use to just like when I do vlogs and stuff, and my camera's working fine.
Okay. We'll go away. And now let's put me in the way, and we'll invite him back. And invite him back. But whenever things don't go exactly the way you want to, it's aggravating, and especially when you feel like you have very little control over it, and you want to get things done as fast as you possibly can and get right back into it, and it doesn't always work that well. So there's some Bondfire.
Are we back?
Yeah, what's weird is it's all grainy, but it's in full screen. Instead of...
Well, that's got to be Google because it was working just fine. I blame Google.
Blame Google.
All right. Well, better than nothing, I guess. Sorry about that, folks.
Okay. Crappy movies. So I went to see...
Yes, you were talking about a movie.
First of all, spoiler alert, because there's no real way to do this without spoiling the movie. The movies that we're going to be talking about are... You went to see, what did you see? Desolation of Smaug.
Mm-hmm.
And also Catching Fire, which is in the... What's it called? Series?
Hunger Games?
Hunger Games series. So, look down below. We are usually very diligent to put timestamps. You need to go to the timestamp after crappy movie endings, because that's the timestamp for what we're just talking about now. And you're going to need to go to the next timestamp and skip this altogether. We'll see you in a few minutes. Bye. Go ahead and go there. Click the button. Okay. About 5 more seconds and you're going to be pissed. Crappy movie. Dude, I got out of this movie. I was pissed. I went to see Catching Fire. And Catching Fire, if you don't know... First of all, don't go see Catching Fire without seeing...
the first Hunger Games.
Hunger Games. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't do that, because these 3 movies you're really going to want to put together. Like, there's no way they could have built them all together, but you want to see these 3 movies, all 3 of them, not just one of them. Like, you can go see Rambo, or maybe any of the Rambos, and be okay. You can go see a Rocky movie and be okay. These movies, you want to see them all together. Kind of like Back to the Future, that you want to see all together, but different. Now, do you want me to rage, or did you want to
go for it? Because okay. I already know what I'm going to say on this, so go for it.
All right. So the spoiler alert. I wrote down. I wanted to get this into. Okay. What Catching Fire did wrong was they ended the movie wrong, and they did this because the book was ended wrong. And they ended it very similarly to how the book ended. But that was done wrong too. And let me tell you why. A movie should be strong enough to stand on its own credit. A book should be strong enough also to stand on its own credit for how good it is. It should be able to stand on its own ability. If you're a bad book, okay, take down yourself, and you suck. There are some movies that have been getting this right, and there are some movies that have been getting this wrong. And what I'm afraid of is that we're trending towards more and more movies and books and stuff that get this wrong. That are doing it the wrong way. Some movies that stood on their own, but they were part of a series, are Indiana Jones. The Indiana Jones series. All of those movies, you can watch them by themselves, and they tell a pretty cool story. If you like it, then they tell a great story. You don't have to see the Raiders of the Lost Ark to understand the Temple of Doom. You don't have to see any of them to understand Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. However, they complement one another, and you'll understand each movie better and better as they go along. But you don't have to have one to have the other. Back to the Future. You can watch any of those movies stand alone, and you don't have to have them, but they do complement one another, and the storylines work together for something really cool. Lord of the Rings. Even though that was a book that was all one big long book. And those stand alone and work well together. And even the Chronicles of Narnia, even though that was a terrible set of movies, they stood well alone because the books stood well alone. This book was written poorly. Harry Potter, the last Harry Potter movie, the way that just kind of like, where was the climax? Because the last book was split in half. See, you just jumped to 720. Other people saw it, but whatever. Anyway, since the book was split in half, you've got half the story on one side, half the story on the other, and it's like there's not enough climax in the middle of the book to make it worth cutting the movie in half, but you needed a 4.5 hour movie to tell that final book. Understand it. Gone with the Wind was 5 hours. Make a freaking long movie. I want to see the whole story. I want to see it all together, because what winds up happening is the other day, my wife and I put on Twilight. We only watched the second half of the last movie because I didn't want to see the setup to the final ending for that movie. I just wanted to see the final battle and what happened there. It's out of theaters, so you don't get spoilers for that. Catching Fire. The first movie was great, and it ended. And then, or this is Hunger Games. The second movie, right about the time you think the movie's just getting going, and you're thinking you got about 30 minutes left, it just stops. The movie just stops. They get too much going for the third movie, and they don't have enough of a climax in the second movie. And from what I understand, this is very close to what the book had written in it. The lack of a pure climax. And it's actually not that there was a lack of a climax for the movie. It's that it just wasn't that good. And it just wasn't that good. The climax for the second one wasn't that good. But it set up for a really awesome third movie. Really looking forward to Mockingjay, I think, is the third installment.
I have no idea what it's called.
I think it's Mockingjay.
Probably.
I know Archaic can fix this. He's read them and he loves the book. So, just sold you out in case you didn't want anybody to know that. Mockingjay, I think, is the third book. It's going to be great because what this movie does have good in it is it's got good acting. I think the small nuances or idiosyncrasies of whoever this chick is that stars in it as
Jennifer
Katniss.
Lawrence, and she is my favorite.
She's a really good actor.
I love this chick, dude.
Go, you want to... I've been talking.
I would just say I love
really
her, and I want to be her friend, and many more.
She's a good actress because she plays this hardened individual, and then she goes on the TV show on the movie, and right before that she's like, rah, 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 rah. And then she gets on the TV show. She knows that the camera is on her. Oh, that's sad, dude. No, oh.
Told you I'm obsessed with her.
That's pretty sad. She gets on the TV show and she turns into this little whimsical, small kind of frailtiness that she puts on, this air that she puts on. I was like, that's really good acting, because she's acting about acting, and that's got to be really weird. The movie ended so poorly, in my opinion, that like when it was over, I was looking at the screen. I said, "Really?" Several people around me in the movie theater, apparently they had seen the movie before. They started laughing. They thought it was hilarious, because I'm just sitting there going, it was infuriating. The story is told so well, so incredibly well, that when you get to the end, it's almost like if the screen went black right now, in the middle of this conversation, while we're still talking, without trying to wrap up any of this, the screen just goes black. And it's like, we'll see you in a year. That's not good enough. That's not a good... there's no good segue there. You're just left hanging, knowing that next year you're going to have a really cool movie. I don't think that this movie was strong enough that whenever you get the box set, you'll ever pull this one out. You'll watch the first one. If the last one is anything like the rest of the other two have been, then you'll watch the last one for sure. I don't know that you'll ever watch the second one again, even though it's got really cool parts. You wanted to talk about Desolation of Smaug.
Well, as a general, I disagree with you. Yes, because I've seen this movie, and yes, the ending is a little annoying. It's a little upsetting, but they set you up. They've sold you already on the third one, and that's the whole point. You're gonna go to the third one. Anyone who watches the second one, because they cliffhang you, you're gonna go watch the third one because you want to know what happens. Maybe it's not the right way to go about it, but like you're saying, you're starting to see this trend in a lot of other movies and TV shows. Two TV shows that I can name that do this, not often, but they do it, is Breaking Bad and Walking Dead. And I've seen both of those shows. The Breaking Bad is probably one of my favorite shows of all time. It is that good. I finally finished it, but I kind of like it. And yes, it's annoying, and you're going to leave that theater kind of pissed off, but I like it for the fact that you have an incentive to go watch the next episode or the next movie. I mean, they set you up so well to just, you want to know what happens. I mean, you're hooked. That's what it's all about. It's the hook, line, and sinker. You disagree?
Yeah, because I'm already sold on this set of movies. When I saw the first one, first of all, I didn't watch any of them until, I don't know, a month ago. My kids wanted to watch a movie. I hadn't seen Hunger Games, so we sat down and we watched Hunger Games. And I watched this movie, well, most of this movie. I came in about the time she volunteered to go in for her sisters, so that far into the first movie. From watching that to the end of the movie, I was like, yeah, this is cool. This is really cool. It's like how did I characterize it? I told one of my coworkers that it's a chick flick that's got enough action to be a war movie for a guy. So it's a war movie for a guy, but it's a chick flick for a girl. Both of you get what you want, and when you get home, you get the benefits of having gone to see a chick flick with your lady. I'll just put it like that. And so cool. It works for both of you. That's what I liked about it. That's cool. It's got enough action for me. It's got enough romance for her. Okay, that's a great movie. The first one sold me on the entire series, which is what I think is right. Like the first Back to the Future sells you on the whole series. The first Lord of the Rings sells you on the whole series. I just don't like it. And as far as TV shows go, I'm still waiting on Vikings to return. It's supposed to come back in February. That was a really awesome TV. It's History Channel made it, so I don't know exactly where you'd find. Did you watch any of it?
No, I've heard about it. I don't know. It seems interesting. The next show I want to get into is Game of Thrones. I've heard a lot of good things about that show.
Yeah, I've heard good things about it.
I've seen like an episode, and it's very slow. That was like the first episode.
My wife and I like Vikings. We got into Vikings, and they ended. I guess they ended the first series without the season without knowing if they were going to continue and keep moving forward. So even though they ended it really in a good spot where they could keep moving, it was also kind of, well, that was enough. But it wasn't. Like, people loved this season of Vikings. It was the first one. They're like, yeah, we're going to keep doing this. So it took them a while to film, and apparently where they film, they have to wait for weather, which makes sense. I mean, the Vikings lived in Scandinavia. It was always cold up there, Denmarkish area.
I have no idea.
Iceland, Denmark, up in. Anyway, I don't know where these particular Vikings were at, but that's not the point. The TV stand. Stands. They're okay because you can watch reruns, you can watch past seasons, you can watch other episodes, you can get your fill. And it's also usually not a year. It's usually 2 or 3 months. Whatever the season ends in March, it picks back up in September. It's not that bad for having an off season, and usually there's whole summer series, so you're not missing out on that much. Like when you want to watch, can you believe we waited like 8 years for the entire set of Harry Potter to come out? Like when you look back at it,
that's a long time.
It's a really long time. I waited 8 years. You're like, what do you do with your next decade? It's a big deal for me. It may not. Nobody else may matter, but I want to be sold on it on the first movie, and not have to be sold from year to year on which.
I get that. I think also, yeah. I mean, you went into it knowing it's a trilogy. It's 3 books. You knew that. Same, and I hate the fact that you used Lord of the Rings, because to me I think that's the same, because they just end. Though they do wrap up better than the Hobbit series, and if you hated Catching Fire's ending, you're gonna hate Desolation of Smaug.
Yeah, who tweeted that to me? Because I'm walking out of the theater. Which, by the way, if you're not following us on Twitter, you're missing out huge. And make sure you tweet at us using the hashtag @3barexploits. But I walked out of the theater on Twitter like, we're gonna rage on 3-bar exploits, and it was way too long between then and now to get some good fire in me. But we're gonna talk about this. It will be on 3-bar exploits. And somebody tweeted back, if you didn't like the ending to that movie, you're gonna hate the ending to Desolation of Smaug. Is that you, or it may have been Archaic?
It was probably Archaic, but it's right. I mean, it's true. I'm not. You'll probably. Will you see that movie? Do you like?
I haven't seen the first one. Because this is the second Hobbit movie, is it not?
Mm-hmm.
How many are they going to make? Because there was only one Hobbit book.
I know. Which is I think it's interesting that they're making 3 movies out of 1 book, but
it's all out of the.
They're doing a pretty good job of it.
They're breaking that that one book up. It was the shortest one.
I know. When the first movie came out and they were talking about making it a trilogy, there was a lot of controversy around it. But I think he was also he got access to like J.R.R. Tolkien's like notes around the books and like stuff he didn't put in the books that he was thinking about putting in the book and things like that. So there's definitely a lot of extra scenes, and I will tell you that the second one is so much better than the first, because on Christmas Eve actually we watched because my girlfriend. Because we exchanged presents on Christmas Eve, and she got me the Hobbit because I really wanted it, and so me and my family would watch that on Christmas Eve, and watching it again, because I love the Lord of the Rings, the Hobbit, I love it all. I love that lore, and I was just like, this one isn't that good. It's very slow, but the second one, oh my god, it's so good, and then it just cuts you at the ankles, and it really sets you up for that third one. I'm very excited to see the finale. But it is a trend, though, to kind of just be cutting you off, begging you for more. And like I said, Breaking Bad does that many, many times. I mean, oh my God, that show's so good. I mean, they just leave you hanging, and you're just like, give me more. I need it. So I can definitely see though why a TV show would do that to make sure you tune in next week or for the next episode. I could see that being more of a necessity than a movie. But I think with these movies, they're doing it in trilogies, and it's going to be a trilogy, or there's 3 books, or however many different versions there are going to be. I think that going into it, so I don't think you can be that disappointed. But I understand your frustration. I completely understand where you're coming from. I kind of like being hung out a little bit because it just gets you that much more excited for the next one.
Okay, well, Harry Potter broke the final book in half. Lord of the Rings, didn't they break the final book in half?
No.
No, there were only 3 of those.
There's 3.
Twilight broke the final book in half. I feel like
Yeah.
I'm missing another series that did that broke the final book in half. And from what I understand, they're breaking Mockingjay in half as a book, and it will be a 4 installment set of movies as opposed to just 3 like the books came.
Wow.
What do you think about?
I don't see.
To me, that's
I don't
just
like
as
that.
bad.
No, I don't like that. Just I get that maybe because I haven't read any of those series or any of the books or anything, so if there's a lot of stuff going on, I guess I can get that because it's hard to translate books into movies per exactly how the book goes. So I guess I can see it, but I just really don't like it. And the fact that the Hobbit's a good example too. I mean, they're breaking that one book into 3 separate movies. There's times where you can feel like there's just added stuff in that. I mean, I don't remember how Harry Potter ended because it's been a while since I've seen the last 2 movies. But there was a lot of just blah time in there, fill time, if you will, that kind of just prolongs what you're waiting for. And I feel like it's just get to the point, I'm not reading a book here. Let's go. So I can understand that.
See, that's one of the things I don't like about, especially the last Twilight movie, is that I don't need the setup to the final part of to the final battle. I don't need that setup. I already know what it's about. Let me get to that really cool part of the movie, which is what I want to see. That's what I want to see when I get into the movie. And to be honest, that's what you want to see in every movie, and everyone knows that because that's the part that's not in the trailer. That's the part that you watch the trailer for. What are the teasers that I can speculate on that are coming up? By the way, check the chat. That are coming up so that I know what to expect in this movie. And that's why whenever some people get out of movies, they're like, oh, this movie is not what I expected it to be. It was terrible. And I don't want to see any more of this, or I do want to see more of this based on what that really cool part was. Well, that really cool part's what keeps you coming back to movies. And that's why you only watch the second half of those whenever you watch them anyway, because it's far enough away from the book. Usually a movie is far enough away from the book that if you're a big enough fan of it, you read the book, you're happier with the book because it is what happened in your head. So the way they set it up may not have been the way you wanted it set up. Well, that whole first half of that movie, or that whole the first half of that broken in half book, that was all set up anyway. And I feel like if you're not following me, maybe I need to draw a picture or something. I'm just lost me, as a matter of fact. But that whole first half of the one that was split in half, it's all set up. And maybe you didn't like the way it was set up. So all you wanted to see was their rendition of that climax of that entire series. And so you would just watch the second half of it anyway. I do that with Harry Potter. I do that with Twilight. And I wonder, I'm probably going to wind up doing that with, what's the name of this? Hunger Games. And I don't know why I can't remember that. But now I have to wait 2 years to see the movie I want to see, because I want to see that really cool climaxy part. And if they're going to
they did a really good job setting that up.
Yeah, if they're going to break Mockingjay in half, then I got to wait 2 years to get to that movie.
Yeah.
Fail.
Oh, I was going to say something too, that I read an article before I saw the movie that when the Catching Fire had just came out, that they said that the people who were doing the movie made the ending. They took some notes from the ending of Breaking Bad. And I'm not going to give away any of the Breaking Bad show because you have to watch that show. It's so good. But having seen both now, I can see it, but the way Breaking Bad ends is more conclusive than Catching Fire. That's for sure.
Catching Fire, like, okay, we said spoilers, so if you're still here by now, you deserve this. When they're picking her up in the machine, you don't know if I didn't read the book. I did not. I don't know if she's dead, and she's just like, my victory is that I have died, and I feel like I did all I could for everyone that I was protecting. And he's like, I'm thinking she feels like she's attained a victory in death. That's what I thought whenever they're picking her up. And so I'm thinking, they could end the movie.
It's kind of symbolic.
They could end it right there. Well, I didn't know that was actually what they were going to do, because when they moved forward from right there, they screwed up. If they would have picked her up, and when the screen faded out, she was being lifted out of that arena, if they would have stopped the movie right there, I would have been okay with that.
Still kind of lazy as a cliffhanger, though. It's not as much of one. But...
It's not as much. Well, the thing is this. Because she's not dead, you know there's a whole nother story. And you start working towards that other story in your brain. If they would have let her just die right there, or look dead right there, then you'd have left that. You'd have had all these conversations. Is she dead? Is she not dead? First, remember, this doesn't count for the guys and gals who have read the books. You know, if you've read the book, you've already screwed up in the first place. You should never read a book. Any book. Never read any book. I do have a theory on that, but we'll get there. If you've read the books, you're ahead of this game anyway. You know how the movie... I don't even understand why you want to see the movies. For me, like, Where the Red Fern Grows screwed that up all the way around. I don't ever want to read books before I see movies. Chronicles of Narnia...
I like to do it the other way around. See the movie, then read the book.
See the movie, read the book. That's not as much of a big deal for me. But read the book, see the movie. That doesn't... I've never had a positive experience there.
Yeah.
And... If you know what happens after they pick her up, then you don't work in this conversation. But if you don't know, if you haven't read the third book, if they pick her up with the arm, you see her. I'm telling you, this movie was shot really well. I'm impressed with the directing. I'm impressed with the acting. I'm impressed with the scenery. It's a good movie. So we're picking her up. Screen goes black. You walk out of the theater, you have a conversation with all your buddies, all your friends, whoever's around. Is she dead? Yes. Is she dead? No. And you can make an argument for each, because she's got her eyes open. Well, your eyes don't always close when you're dead. Well, in movies it means you're dead because your eyes are closed. Well, okay, but the thing comes and picks her up, and that's how they get rid of the dead bodies. They showed that earlier in the movie. That's how the dead bodies leave the arena. So she has to be dead because the thing came and picked her up, and now she's gone. Yeah, but also in the movie they said anybody close to this tree is going to get toastified if it strikes, and she was close and she should be toastified. Well, she's too smart for that. She's the protagonist, and I hear there's a third book. Who's going to be in the third book? I don't know. So now you argue about it. You'll wind up doing some research about it, which means somebody may make money. And when you find out she's alive, you may have to buy the books, which means somebody may make money. And since you thought she was dead, I guess you could say they may not buy the third movie or go to the third movie because they feel like their series has closed out. But if your series had closed out right there, then you have to see the third installment. Third movie starts, she wakes up in the last 4 minutes of the movie or whatever, however much was left after they actually pick her up. When it fades back in, she wakes up on in the spaceship. If that's the way the third movie starts, I'm happier. I'm thinking they've got 3 great movies, or maybe even 4 great movies, if that's the way the third one starts. But because they sold out to trying to get people's butts in the seats for the next movie, I'm not happy. It makes me sad. It You suck. I don't want my movies to end that way. Make them the way I want them. I'm paying you for that. I understand. It makes me a jerk. Whatever.
Yeah, well, but you're still gonna go see the third movie.
I was going to see it anyway because the first movie was really cool.
So therefore, this conversation is nothing. It means nothing. If you were gonna see a third movie anyways, then it doesn't matter what the second one is.
I'm not happy with the second movie. I'm not ever going to see it again because it had no climax.
I will agree with that. I really liked the second one. I just felt like it was a mirror image of the first movie, though.
No.
Minus the ending. To me,
no.
Oh, how was it not?
Because
they did the tributes. They did the Hunger Games again, and there was little side things going on that sets you up for that ending and sets you up for the third movie.
Okay, so
other than that, I felt like it was almost the same exact plot.
I said I came in where she volunteered in the first movie, right? Mm-hmm. I said I came in right there. I did this as my kids were watching it on TV, and this is literally the living room TVs. I did this, and I'm watching a little bit of it while I'm between games on Ghosts. And so I play a game on Ghosts, and I come back like this, and there's a girl twirling on a stage, and she says something like, "Do you want me to do it again?" And she twirls on stage, and the bottom of her dress catches on fire. And I'm like, "Hey, yep. Yeah, that's pretty cool." And I think that's when I got up and went in to perfect knowledge of how that movie goes. One time I did this and saw that, and one time I've been to the theater to see the other movie. So expert I am not. I have no idea what we're talking about again. How it's different. The point where I actually got up, where she twirls around, her dress is on fire. She's on TV. They're fixing to go into the games, and he puts the black guy who's the seamstress, or he wouldn't be a seamstress. He'd be a tailor. Her tailor puts the little Mockingjay pin on her, and he send her up the tube or whatever. Go in about that point. All of the movie before that, in the first movie, it's pretty short. It's pretty concise. It's exactly what it needed to be. They get her. You build an emotional attachment. You show her love for her family. You see the loyalty that she has there. You get to see how the system is laid out for why Hunger Games even exist. And you get straight to the Hunger Games. It's just what it needed to be. It's nice and short, and they get you into the game. In the second movie, I kept saying, "Okay, hurry up and get to the game. We know all this stuff. Hurry up and get." I didn't know that. Okay, and you get to see the weirdness between her love affair with PETA and whoever the other guy is, and her family, and the hunting stuff, and
that was also in the first.
Yeah, but it's... And that's why I was saying, I don't need to see that. Let me get out of it. And then it's like, there's a new development, and then there's like the coal mine stuff, and I understand that there's kind of the same thing. But then they go and tour. They go on tour in the train. They go around to the different districts. I was like, that wasn't in the first. This is different.
Oh, I'll give you that. The tour wasn't in the first.
And that's like, I was like, skip over. No, you can't skip over that. You have to tell that story to get it. Do I need to see that story again? No, absolutely not. I don't need to see that story again. Which is why this movie is invalidated for me, because the games, the Hunger Game itself, you don't need to see that again. You saw enough of that in the first. Or if you go back and watch the first movie, that game was better than this game. I understand they're different. I understand that, and they have a different purpose, and the second one's completely fabricated, and it's all done behind her back. I understand. Like I said, if you're still here, your spoiler alert was given. You're done. It's a completely different game, but you can get that satisfaction in the first movie, and then you can move to the climax that the second movie set up by just going to the third movie. Maybe it hasn't even been made yet, so.
Yeah,
whatever.
I see what you're saying, and you definitely have some great points. I mean, there are little things, and the message that they're conveying to you is a completely different message than the first movie. I'll give you that, no doubt. But I still feel like the plot and what you're watching and the series of things that you're going through it was almost a mirror image. Now, minus the tour, they did go on tour, and there was a lot of big stuff that happened during that time that really set it up for why the Hunger Games happened again. But it just, there was a lot of things like the fact that they tributed again, the volunteer thing, they did the Hunger Games, they did the show again, the whole fire thing, and they did all of that. It was repeated, but it was all fabricated, like you said. So I get it, but I was a little disappointed. I still love the movie, and I still love Jennifer Lawrence.
You know what I find is really bizarre is that even though I predicted what was going to happen in the movie as I was watching the movie, it's that predictable. I really thought it was a
Even
great,
the ending?
Entertaining movie. I knew whenever, like, spoilers, dude, you're done. You're cut off. I knew whenever they got to the cornucopia, and she looks up at Homeboy. What does she draw her bow or something like that? She looks up, and Homeboy's got the other guy's bracelet, the golden bracelet that says we're on the same team, or I think this means we're on the same team, or whatever he says. And he said, we are allies. However, that scene goes down, I knew right then this game was rigged, and something about the ending was not going to be there wasn't going to be a one victor. There wasn't going to be we're all going to eat the poison berries together type of victor like there was in the first movie. There was going to be some different ending. The games would be ended different than going to a full ending. So yeah, I even saw that coming to an extent. I didn't know it was going to happen the way it did. The old woman, you knew she was going to die. Didn't know it was going to be in a cloud of gas, but you knew she was going to die. And I mean, that was so predictable that even the guy that goes in with her is like, she knew she wasn't coming out of here. The PETA was going to volunteer in the place of Hamish, and Amish's name was going to get picked, and because that was completely transparent. There was going to be strife between the president and Katniss Everdeen, and she was.
That was clear in the first one.
She wasn't going to live up to what he told her to do, and you knew that, even though she was going to try really hard to do what she was told. They start capping old guys in the back of the head for saying, "Hey, dude, we appreciate that you loved our person." Or hey, chick, not hey, dude. When he holds up his fingers, they shoot the guy in the back of the head. When she sees that, her reaction tells you she's not going to live up to what the president told her to do. This movie is transparent, very transparent. However, such good acting. The story is told so well. It's a really good movie. Enjoyed it.
I didn't see the games creator guy. I didn't see that coming.
I knew he was on Everdeen's side until he starts doing all these little mini powwows with the president. Then I was like,
see, that's what threw me off.
Wait a minute. Yeah, that threw me off. But whenever he dances with her, I said, no, they're on the same side. He says, I volunteered as well. And I was thinking, this volunteer thing is, it's a marker for something to happen in the future, which will be volunteer army, volunteer militia, volunteer rise up against. I volunteer to stand against the Capitol, which is, I'm assuming, what the third movie's about. I would have to make that complete assumption if the movie would have ended with the arm picking her up. But we've been on this topic for an incredibly long time.
We have. But, yeah, well, I think those endings are here to stay.
Well,
for
it's not like we're
trilogies.
gonna change those. Oh, that type of ending?
I do.
No, please no. That's just dumb.
Oh, man. My goodness. So you had a hater or something, right?
Yeah, I had a hater. You want to go ahead and fill time while I find this quote?
So, well, I'll talk about the desolation of Smaug, and I'm not going to give away any spoilers, but Smaug, the dragon dude, because I've never I started reading the book when I was way too young to start reading the book, and I've never actually finished the book. And again, it's stupid to read the book before you see the movie because you don't want to be disappointed by the movie. But I was really curious how it was going to play out because I knew once they got to the goblin, or not the goblin, the dwarf kingdom where Smaug was, like what's going to happen, like, because I know the whole point is to get it back, and I kept hearing how great of a character Smaug was, and he delivered. Like he was such an awesome character because it's a talking dragon, and the thing's like it's really huge, and it was so well done, and that movie is so much better than the first one by far. And I actually kind of want to read the book after seeing the finale, the third movie next year, because I read The Fellowship of the Ring, the first Lord of the Rings book, after seeing the movie, and I was going to do that with the second one, but I never finished it. But there's so many differences between the Fellowship of the Ring book and the Fellowship of the Ring movie. Like it's pretty crazy, and I want to see the differences between that and The Hobbit. I don't know. It was a great movie. I mean, it's action packed. It's faster paced. And the Smaug character is about as awesome as Golem.
You keep saying Smaug.
You know, Golem is. That's how they pronounce it.
Smaug. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's not Smaug.
Smaug.
It's like Smaug.
Smaug.
That's how I'm pretty sure that's how they pronounce it. But
that's funny.
It's worth your time.
That, so.
Oh well, that's what because he kept saying like all the hobbits and stuff. They all say that, and I was like, is that really how you say that? But I guess it is. So.
Okay. YouTube haters. Yes. I'll put the timestamp in. We can move on. So, I got hate on a video I put up on November 12th. That's a long time ago. In my world.
That is a long time ago.
In my world, and in your world, and in a lot of the YouTubers that are watching this, you understand how you put up a video. You love that it's still getting views. I do. I love that it's still getting. One of my more popular videos got almost 1,200 views actually. But I got.
Which video are we talking about?
It's Clan Wars and the new Call of Duty app. New Call of Duty app. Also in the title it says Chem Strike clutch gameplay on Strike Zone. I'd say I earned a Chem Strike. In this video, in the early part of this video, it's on Strike Zone, and it seems like the first care package you get on Strike Zone is going to be a Chem Strike. So
it is.
It really is. I mean, it's like, when you get these things, it's like, hey, cool, Chem Strike, +6 for me.
Yeah.
And and the map's going to change. All right, here we go. Cool.
Real quick.
It's almost one of those that going in that if the enemy team gets a care package, you better get to it in a hurry because, on Warhawk, it's going to be a mortar team. You better, at least you can avoid that. Chem Strike, you're just toast.
Yeah, it's funny actually because I haven't played Call of Duty Ghosts since like the first week it came out because the PlayStation 4 came out. And then I think it was just last week I was like, you know what? I'm going to try Ghosts again. My first gameplay was Strike Zone, and I did one of those field orders. Chem Strike. And I was like, really? This is awesome.
I like that they took the exclusivity away from the Moab. I like that they made it more commonplace. That's cool. Because, hey, everybody can get one. And that's actually just coming. Homeboys hated on me. Says, don't put Chem Strike in the title if you get it out of care package. Oh, you're the 1 millionth person to get the Chem Strike out of care package bad, or you are bad. First of all, I understand you're a child because you didn't spell things correctly. Second of all, and the comment I made is, who made you king of my YouTube account? I'll put whatever I want in the title. You are bad. And I typed out you are and bad. I'll put whatever I want in the title. I will put exactly what I want to in the title, and it will be whatever's going to bring in the most views to increase my subscriber base to grow my channel. It'll also be accurate to whatever I want, whatever happens or whatever I'm going to talk about or whatever. I I got a chem strike in that game. I got it out of a care package. That's commonplace. Like you said, you're the millionth person to get one out of a care package. So why are you searching for chem strikes? Why is this the criteria that you've searched for? You're bad. Like, are you really looking for chem strikes, knowing that you could just get one out of the care package? You know what you need to be looking for? Trips and ticks. Tricks and tips. Trips and ticks on how to complete field orders so that you can get a chem strike. Because actually almost did get.
That's what the game's all about, dude. You just complete those field orders and you just get that. Screw getting high kill streaks and all that crap. Just do a field order. You get great things.
You usually get pretty. It's either chem strike or you get the satcom. That seems to be what I've been.
I got a chopper in one. It's like I think that's like an 8 kill streak or something. Thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's I don't remember. It's maybe an 8, 7, 8, 9, whatever.
Yeah, I know it was around there, but
you get cool things in them. I got the dude really hated on the video, and this doesn't happen too often. Most of the people that come around either don't say anything or they, whatever, which is fine. I don't mind. And if you're going to just completely straight hate on something, I'm going to completely give it back to you in a polite way. I mean, at least the guy didn't cuss at me, so that's not too bad. I've had people, the people that cuss, but and I commented back. I'll put whatever I want.
Yeah.
Most of the time, I just say thanks for sharing your opinion. But it's like, how do you tell someone else what to do? Am I going to tell you? Let's see. You and I have talked about this in the past. I was like, Bondfire, your color correction's a little dark. And this was, I think we were talking about this like in the Battlefield 4 beta or before that. No, it was the very first video of yours that I watched. I think you were playing World at War and you got dogs or something. And and I said something about it was a little bit dark. And this was before we knew each other real well. And you're like, oh, okay. Your video quality's fine. That was the only video I've ever seen with it being dark. So I was kind of talking out of turn. And you obviously make good enough quality videos. You're getting subscribers faster than I am, and your stuff, it's great. So, what do you do with haters? Why can't you just be constructive? There's no place in this for me to tell you how to do things. Tell you, you have to have a 5.0 KD to post your gameplay online, or you have to complete the entire mission before you can post that segment online, or if you die in it wherever, make a failure somewhere, you can't use that portion at all to put it online. You do whatever you want to. This is your channel. This is my channel, and I'll put whatever I want to on there.
Yeah, that's a good point. And what I don't get with that guy, in referencing that guy again, is like, you didn't falsely advertise your video whatsoever, so he has no reason to be pissed. You played the game, you got lucky with the care package, and you got a chem strike. The gameplay shows a chem strike. There's no false advertisement. So, like, what's your deal? If you want to go watch people get, like, double chem strikes and all that stupid shit, go find some other Call of Duty player that does that, I mean, that's nothing special anymore. I hope he realizes that. That's nothing outstanding. I mean, heck, so many people can do that. I'm not one of them, man. I play Call of Duty now. I'm terrible at the game. I am so bad at this game, it's not even funny anymore because I haven't played it in so long. But that just bugs me. I mean, I'm even bugged by that guy for you.
Thank you. And now the other thing is, this was a clutch gameplay for me. The entire team quits out once I get my team quits out after I get a chem strike. It's me and one other guy in my clan, and it's TDM, and I have to go all the way to the end. His connection to this game is the guy's a good enough player. He's a good enough player, but his connection to this game is substandard, and this was on the 360. His connection to the game is substandard, so he's not doing well at all. Goes negative. And I carry us all the way through to the end of this TDM and win. Clutch gameplay. Chem strike. Dude, this is riveting drama TV stuff here. watch this stuff. It's cool. You should watch this. This is good stuff. Because it's got all the things you want to see. Did I actually earn a 25 kill streak chem strike? No, I did not. I didn't say that I did either. Thank you, Bonfire, for pointing that out.
That's exactly right.
But just as if you watch the entire 11 minutes and 17 seconds, you found out, hey, Whackmed really he hung in there to the end, man. Good job. So, whatever. I did what I could. Don't boss me around about my YouTube channel. I won't boss you around about yours.
He probably didn't have a video.
Oh, he doesn't have a single video. He's just a straight hater.
Yeah, I don't get that. And as we all grow, and even when I've streamed on Twitch, I've gotten people just trying to like troll me on there. Like they'll pop in and I'll be like, oh hey, what's up, whoever it is, and he's like, you suck at this game. I'm just like, wow, thanks. Like, well, what do you say? I mean, you just have to like acknowledge it and just laugh at it. I mean, that's all you can do, because there's people out there that's their sole purpose on the internet, because they have nothing else better to do, because that's just how they get their jollies off, is they go and just troll people. I mean, they make fun of people, they tell you you're terrible, and they hate life. That's stupid. It's so stupid. Like, you just have to, I guess, embrace it, and either don't acknowledge it because that's what they want you to do, and you just can't lose your temper. That's the big thing, because that's what they're trying to do, is force you to lose your temper. It's like that person, like when you're playing football out there, who's just heckling you, just hassling you on every single play, and as soon as you lose your temper and you get that flag, his job is done. So I don't know.
Yeah, I played against a guy like that last night. That he was really good at making his voice sound like different voices, and I guess he, to an extent, did his job, because I'm talking about him right now. But he made his voice sound like this particularly aggravating voice. And not only the voice, but the whole persona to go around with it. Like, you can't just come up with a voice like this right here and start talking about electrophysicism and and science and stuff, and speak intelligently and actually use good points whenever you're talking like this right here. You need to be talking about like mud tires and stuff like that if you're going to talk like this right here. So you got to have the whole persona to match up, and he did a good job matching up his whole persona to this in particular. Now, I'm really good with that one, but he made up this whole persona to go with the voice, which was really impressive. I hated him.
Yeah.
I couldn't mute him because he was such a jerk. I did mute him for a little bit, and then I came back and unmuted him because my teammates, for some reason, were talking to him, and I was left out of the conversation. That kind of made me sad. But he did a really good job. I'm still mad at him for having to listen to him, and his job was done whenever he made us respond to him. However, I stopped talking to him, and I knew that a couple of my buddies were saying, when this game's over, we're going to go, relieve ourselves or go get something to drink or whatever at the end of this game. And then now between games is so short, I knew that's what they were doing. So they jumped up, they ran off before chat opened up for both sides, and we get to the lobby, and he's like, see, I don't want to talk to me. And I just hit the little button to mute myself to make sure he couldn't hear anything I said. And he must have thought we all muted him, because they all left, and I wouldn't speak to him. And he went through, the voice that was aggravating, and then he went through this other voice, and then he went through a voice that Steven loved, and then he finally come back around and said, I guess you guys aren't going to talk to me. And the game started. It started loading the map, and I noticed shortly after the game began that he left altogether. And it's like, so that's the only thing you were around for? I mean, it was just absolutely natural that they weren't able to respond, but that's all you were here for? You were just here to aggravate other people, and when you found out that, or when you thought that you had been muted, you left? How much time do you have that you can make this a focus in your life. How much extra time do you have that you can go into a game for the sole purpose of aggravating people? I don't have that kind of time. I don't think I'd spend my spare time like that anyway. But you've got so much spare time that you can spend a purpose in your life can be to aggravate other people. Ooh.
Yeah.
Find a book. Let me recommend one for you. It's called The Hunger Games. Don't go see the movies.
Don't read the second one, though.
Don't read the second one.
Hey, I know we've talked about it before, but that's why I don't like trolling. Because to me, that's what trolling is exactly what that guy did. Just being a douchebag online, most likely Call of Duty, because that's where it seems to be the most popular these days, which... it's true, though. You can't deny that, and that pisses me off. That game would be so much better if people didn't do that stupid crap.
I got on Dead Rising 3 at 4:30 the other morning and trolled the heck out of some kid who jumped in my game. I kept leaving him. I'd get in the car and just take off and go, and this didn't mean to, but it's like, look, dude, it's 4:30 in the morning. I'm just getting ready to go to work. I'm munching on, granola bar or whatever, bagel for breakfast, and I don't want to play with you. I'm not going to plug in my microphone and play with you. And now I can't even record Steven because you've screwed that up for me. And you're just bothersome. I'd get in the car and I'd drive to the other side of the city.
That's funny. But that's why I don't like it. I find it very annoying and superfluous. It's one of the biggest words I know, so that's why I use it.
It's pretty impressive. I was like, what?
Thank you.
Dead Rising 3, though, I'm really enjoying the game.
Yes, I was going to ask you, because I know you got it for Christmas, did you not?
I got it with Christmas money, so yeah.
Oh, well, there you go. So, a little Christmas present from whoever, or to yourself.
Right, to myself. And it was, I knew it was going to be a purchase there, because I only played the first 20 minutes of the demo because I wanted to save the second 20 minutes for a time when I could sit down and do 20 minutes of this. And that just never happened, where I knew I could devote all 20 minutes just to this. It just didn't happen before I had the opportunity to buy the game. And now I have to remake the thumbnail and everything. Dude, this game is so cool. I'm a little bit lost. I'm not sure how the multiplayer would go. I don't have anybody to play it with, really. And, like, you want to hate on the Xbox, we can do a little bit of that, because the invitation system is so bad. And trying to become friends with people is so hard to deal with.
Really?
Yeah.
Just like friend request stuff?
Yeah, like on the 360, that was really easy. You hit the button, you go to your friends, and show you the ones online, and then at the end of that, it'd show you all the ones offline. Now it's like people that follow you, and also people that are your friends, and it shows you all of them, and you have to filter. Then after it shows you all of them, you have to filter down just to get to the ones that are online. And now what are they doing? It wants to show you that now. There's some really cool features like Netflix. This is what your friend is doing. They're on Netflix. They've done Netflix for 72 hours, and you've got 5 minutes on Netflix, because all I did was set it up. Or maybe it pulls up Call of Duty because you're playing Call of Duty, and it goes, they have 5 days on Call of Duty, and you have 3 days on Call of Duty, and here's how your achievements stack up. That's easier to get to. But, like, if you want to go to somebody's page, it takes longer to get there than it did on the 360. And to try to invite people to like, party up in Call of Duty Ghosts, there's, like, this secret handshake that you have to do with the Kinect or something to make that happen. It's a problem. It really is a problem. I hope they address it, because the old system, while it was slow, like, to hit the button and it go, woo, and then you'd have to wait for it to actually pop up and fill everything in, while that took a little bit of time, it was still a better interface than what they've got going on now, because now it goes shoop and it shrinks away, and you have to go to another spot, which I guess is actually up here. You have to go to the spot up here and find where your friends are, and then it brings it up, and you have to filter it all out, and it's a pain in the butt. It's really a problem. It's a huge problem.
That's it. So you said something about the Kinect, and as of this point, I do not have an Xbox One. I do want to get one when Titanfall comes out, so I will be there soon, hopefully, if everything aligns like they're supposed to. But you said something about the Kinect and a secret handshake. Elaborate. Like, what are you talking about? Like,
I was being facetious with that. What I meant is that.
Do you have to do anything with the Kinect to party up?
No.
Okay. So that was total just joking.
I was being completely facetious. One of the bigger words that I know. The game, it's like you have to be in an Xbox Live party, and then you have to send an invitation, and sometimes the invitations don't pop up on someone else's screen. Or maybe it's that the invitations don't pop up on someone else's screen unless you're in an Xbox Live party. And now, like, you're used to the Xbox Live party being everybody's in chat together. Well, that's not the case. Just somewhere in some magical land of fairies and unicorns, you're grouped together by a little electrical proton connection that means nothing at all. Except that when someone invites you to do something, it pops up on your screen and says, accept now or accept later, and you get to choose to play with them right now. Because there's no grouped chat. The only advantage to being in an Xbox Live party is that you can send multiple invitations at one time, and that's good. I guess I don't care. I like the old interface better. I think they broke that.
Yeah, that's interesting. I will say something though about speaking of the Xbox. My brother actually he got one for Christmas. An Xbox One, and I didn't get very much hands-on time with it. I did play a Battlefield 4 match because he got that game, and I think he has Rise. I didn't try Rise. We downloaded Killer Instinct, so I was like, hey, download this. We used to play this when we were younger. Like, let's give it a go. I'm terrible at that game. By God, I suck at fighting games. Like, it's
Killer Instinct?
Yeah, I'm so bad at that game.
Yep.
That's so bad.
Me too.
But I mean, it looks cool. I didn't get to play with the interface much. I will say though, I really like the way the controller feels. It feels really good, like when it's sitting in your hand. So I thought that was really cool. I don't like the analog sticks though. In using those, they're a lot smaller, and I don't feel like they respond, and according to that ratio of the length, if that makes sense. But. But it was pretty cool. I'm hoping I want to invite him over so I can like record something and just to post and try out more stuff. But it's cool. I mean, I'm definitely excited to get one. And in Dead Rising 3, you said multiplayer. Like, is it to where you just like co-op or?
Just all of a sudden somebody else was in my game.
See, I hate that because there's another zombie game like Dead Rising, Dead Island, which is a game I've played, and I've played both of them. There's two of them, and that's it's the same thing to where like people can just drop in and out of your game. Like you're playing, you're just playing single player, doing missions or whatever, killing zombies, doing your thing, and someone just drops in and starts doing your mission. That's crap. Don't bother me. I hate that.
It's actually not that bad. In that it's only happened to me twice, and one time the guy was like, both times I completely ignored these guys. I was a jerk. I'm sorry, and it's not that I was trying to be, but like it asks you what you want to set your it's almost like a status. What do you want to set your status as for multiplayer? You can say single player only. You can say hardcore, speed run. Is it hardcore? I think it's hardcore or serious or something like that. I'm going to play the game. I'm going to follow the storyline. I'm going to be serious. Speed run. I'm just running through it as fast as I can. No side missions, no other things to do. I'm just going to go through the main storyline. Or casual. Casual is what I set it on. And I think it was something like, I'm going to do some side missions. I'm going to complete the story. I'm just going to have fun and play the game. That's what mine is set on. So I haven't tried to search for someone else's game to find it, but you can I'm assuming that shows up whenever you look at someone. If it came over to Bondfire, it'd say he's playing the game in speed run. Oh well, I don't want to do that because I'm just going to slow him down. I don't know the levels or the bosses or the progression well enough to stay up to speed with what he's going to want me to do. Because there were times when I speed ran Borderlands 2, which is another game where you could just drop in and back out. And I'm assuming you can kick people out of Dead Rising 3. I don't know. I haven't tried. I wasn't that much of a jerk. I just, whatever. So you can, I can be here and you can be there, and that'll help us complete the mission faster. Like, you can be at the edge of the map, which I haven't found anything like this in Dead Rising 3. It just seems to be open, like sandboxy. But Borderlands actually had maps, and you have to move from this map to the next map. And you could be in complete opposite sides of that map. And if this person initiated travel to the next map, it would move. So if we're speed running it, then you can go down and deal with the boss or, get the item or whatever, and I can go be over here. So as soon as you pick up the item, I can turn it in. And then as soon as you pick up the item, I turn it in, then Oyster can be at the edge of the map, and he can transport us to the next map. And as soon as we get there, you break off, do this thing, I'll break off, do that thing, and he can break off and do the other thing. And as soon as we get to those points, we can boom, bang, bang, and speed run through. Well, you can set up, apparently, and do something like that on Dead Rising 3.
Oh.
And to say, I want to do this in a hurry and go do this. And so whenever someone jumps into your game, you know what to expect. You know what you're getting into. I don't know the game that well. I'm really actually not paying that much attention to the storyline as much as I probably should. But I'm enjoying it. Like, I watch it and we get to a cutscene. I'm like, this is funny. This is cool. Mass Effect 3. You remember I complained about that. Dear God, just get through with this cutscene where I can get back to playing the game. With this one, it's like, with this game, it's more like, oh, that's funny. And then something will happen in the cutscene. You're like, that's funnier. Or good cutscene. You get to the end of it and it's like, that's a cool cutscene. So shouldn't be any spoilers here, but in one of the cutscenes, there's this guy shooting at you. And you're like, am I going to have to fight this guy too? Man, this battle I just got in was a pretty tough one. I don't want to have to fight this guy too. And he's like, hey! And the other guy's like, you're speaking my language. So I hope that wasn't too much of a spoiler. It changes up and it does something differently, and you're like, okay, that was cute. I like that. That was a good cutscene. And they're not too long. They really aren't too long. And you can skip them. So once you've seen the cutscene, I'm watching them. I'm not skipping them. So maybe you can skip them the first time too. But once you watch the cutscene, if like I had to go, something happened, and I had to just go and whatever. I didn't save it. I wasn't at a save point, or I didn't think that I had done well enough to save it. Oh, I got killed. Yeah, the zombies took me down. So, I got killed. You go back to this point, it restarts the cutscene. I'm like, no. So I hit the button and it skips the cutscene. I don't have to watch it. So I'm loving the game. Nice. I think it's really cool. It's so open that I'm kind of at a loss for direction.
Yeah.
And I'm not good with that. Like, I still do better if I'm told this is a good progression to follow. But it's okay. I mean, it's good enough that it's okay. If all I do is kill some zombies, that's fine. Like, what I'm worried about is there's a timer, and it says something bad's going to happen at the end of this timer. I'm hoping that it's not a real timer. Like, actually timing me, because I'm screwed. But...
oh, weird. You'll have to let me know how that plays out.
If
you ever reach that timer.
I mean, I'm very, very early. Like, I'm in like chapter 1 or 2 or something. It's like if you've got like 6 days to do something, and
okay.
I mean, I'm not running short on days, so I don't know what happens, but I'm not really working towards that goal. So,
that's funny.
I don't know.
Well, that's the thing with those like open world games. I mean, games like that, you can you go get lost doing whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean. That's the great thing about them. But I do share your sense of having that problem, I guess, for lack of a better term, is because that's my fear when I dive into an open world game, is like sometimes like it's so open, you just don't know what to do, or you almost lose interest. And I'm saying you're losing interest, but I've had that problem with some open world games to where you just kind of lose interest because like you want to do a side mission, you kind of did that, and then you're like, oh wait, what was I supposed to do? And you're done. I've had that happen before.
It's more like not that I lose interest. I lose interest in the current mission. I just get sidetracked with killing zombies, dude. It's a blast. Like I walk around, I pick up this item, that item, that item, and I make this item, and that's a little overbuild, by the way. The making the items, it's a little bit overbuild. Not much. I mean, you can make them, but it's not like you make everything all of a sudden. You have to work towards being able to make better and better things.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It's not as fast as you may have wanted, but maybe if you, I don't know, whatever. I wanted to be able to make bigger, cooler things faster, and haven't been able to do that yet. So I get sidetracked. Like it says, go to here and do this thing, and I'm like, gotcha. I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna do this thing. All right, let's do this. Zombie, and it's almost like squirrel. I get completely sidetracked. Now I'm killing zombies, and I was like, yeah, I picked up these 3 items. I'm going to just bash zombies until they're gone. And I bash zombies and bash zombies and bash zombies. And I'm like, there was a thing. I'm supposed to be doing something. What was I supposed to be doing? I don't remember.
Yeah.
But as we speak, Strictly Business has secured a top 4 finish.
Wow.
Apparently, they're fixing to face Team Caliber, which if I'm right, put them out last time. I think it was Team Caliber.
Asking the wrong person.
I know.
I don't know.
But
that's awesome. They're doing really well.
Yeah, what I'm looking at here has got Strictly Business going up against Team Caliber. I'm impressed, dude. Top 4 finish. Hopefully they'll go all the way. They're fighting their way back from the losers bracket, and I despise the way Major League Gaming does losers brackets. To me, it's just terrible. I mean, do you remember? Did we talk about this? Like
briefly.
Briefly. We'll wrap it up. If I face you in the open bracket or the winners bracket or whatever, and we play. Capture the Flag, or I think Capture the Flag in Black Ops 2 was this, you score 3 flags and I score 2 flags. Then whenever we face I fight all the way back up through the losers bracket. Whenever we get back to it, you've still got me beat 3-2. Or it was the map count. It was the map count.
That's right.
It was you have to win a certain amount of maps to win the game versus you. If I've only won one map against you and you put me out, then whenever we face each other again, I've fought all the way through this losers bracket. I don't get to start over. We're not even. You're still ahead of me 4-1, and that to me is ridiculous. It's
because tell me what other sport. Now I'm not trying to compare playing Call of Duty to actual physical sport, but tell me what other competitive game, whatever you want to call it, does that. None.
Right. And the thing is just like if it was football, like all the playoffs that are going on right now, or the wild card stuff anyway,
it's a wild card.
They don't start in the middle of the game. Like if I just had to if the Seahawks played the Bucks, which the Bucks are definitely not anywhere near the playoffs. They're not allowed to talk about the playoffs. If the Seahawks played, but the Seahawks are. So if the Seahawks played the Bucks in the season, which I don't remember, I think they did. I think they may have.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
it was actually a close game, if I remember correctly.
Do you remember the score?
I didn't like that. I don't, but I remember it was close. We'll say 26-21. I don't know, just throwing numbers out there.
But if it was 26-21 in favor of the Seahawks, then whenever they face each other in the wild card playoff, what happens in Major League Gaming would be like they started the playoff game 26-21. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. They start over with 4 fresh quarters with a fresh score of 0-0, and that's the way it should be in
That's right.
esports as well. If you fought,
I agree.
Hmm?
I was just saying,
If,
I agree. I
if you,
completely agree with what you're
yeah,
saying.
if you fought your way all the way back through the losers bracket, then you deserve a fresh set of downs. You deserve
Yeah.
a fresh take against this opponent, even though you've matched up. And I know Oyster may rage here because he completely disagrees with me, and we've argued about it in the past. He's like, why should you give the advantage back? You've already proven you're better than them. It's not what it's about. It's
No.
not what it's about. So
I mean, what it comes down to is if you are really that good, you'll beat them again.
you'll beat them again. And if you got that lucky, then you have that opportunity to prove it, that it wasn't luck.
Yeah.
Because if it was
Exactly.
just luck, then you're not the better team, and it'll be found out about you.
Yeah, I mean, I know the College World Series does this. And the only reason I know that is, well, anyways, we won't get into that. But the College World Series has a winners and losers bracket as well. And when the loser, that final loser goes up before the championship game or whatever it is, it's fresh. I mean, it's not like the winner has an advantage over the loser. And I feel like if you're going to have a loser's bracket, that's how it should be done. Now, if you don't want a loser's bracket because you feel like you're giving an advantage to whoever, then don't do it. Have it be a one and done. And that's what it is,
I agree. I think it gives an unfair advantage to the one who won the first preliminary interaction. So that's me. But then again, if you're that good, don't lose. It does happen though. By the way, I've saved our on the last 3 bar. We did the little predictions for the bowl stuff.
Oh yeah,
Remember
I haven't
that?
really been following the bowl games.
I'm looking at it right now as far as what we predicted.
I know Alabama lost. I heard that. That was crazy.
I can't talk about that right now. I'm looking at what we predicted.
Yeah.
Remember, third place has to lip sync the intro and really sell it out.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to predict the future because Florida State's the last one left to play.
Yeah.
I just feel very confident in saying I won't be the one lip syncing to the intro, and you're probably okay.
Oh. Well, as long as I'm okay.
You're probably safe with not having to sing as well. Just looking back at the
I don't remember what it was, and I haven't paid too much attention to the bowl games because I watched the Oregon game, which, whatever, it wasn't even that impressive. But
I listened to
I'm in basketball mode, and that's all I care about. So
yeah, how are the Blazers doing?
Well, not so good after last night. I mean, we were number 1 in the West, but after last night, which was Saturday night against Philadelphia, we lost, which was BS. And that's a team we should have beat too. I was not happy coming home.
I'm sorry.
What frustrates me, let's get this out and then we'll wrap up, is I feel like Portland has to fight against the refs as well. Like, when there's like teams that the refs just kind of favor. I'm not saying the refs favor Philadelphia, but I feel like anytime, even though we're at home playing, we have to fight against the refs too. Like, calls just don't go our way, and I don't get it.
My high school team's like that. It always feels like the refs are out to get us, that we have to play against the black and whites.
Yeah.
So,
but we are having a phenomenal season, so I'm happy.
Was this episode 29?
That's what I think. It's episode 29.
It's episode 29. Thank you for being here for episode 29. Hopefully Oyster will be done with his playoffs. Carolina's not good enough to make it that far into the season. And he'll be back next week. You spoiled it at the beginning. This is usually where I make up something weird. Like,
I did.
I was working on it earlier when he said that he couldn't make it, and you said you were. And I was like, I should come up with something like we each bought each other Christmas presents, and Oyster sent you a pound of bacon, and since you're Jewish, that was completely offensive to you, considering that you had made an exception in the first place because you were going to say it was a part of Hanukkah instead of Christmas, and it was a big fallout from that, and that's why Oyster's not here. So you've ruined that for me. But I was prepared. I even had medic talk for this week.
Oh, well, we'll save it for next week.
You sure you want to save it for next week? I can make everybody go.
I think we should.
Okay. Well, that's
We don't want to leave him on a medic talk note. We all know how that makes me feel after we're done with that.
This and wood.
Yeah, we'll save that for next week.
So I'll probably forget it by next week, but that's
Write it down real quick, just a little reminder.
I don't want to write this down. I don't want to think about it.
Someone died, or I don't know, someone lost their legs. It's going to be something crazy like that.
The word is panis. Go look it up. Look up the word panis. I don't know how to spell it, but look up the word panis.
I imagine it's spelled P-A-N-I-S.
What do you? Probably P-A-N-I-S. What do you think it is?
I have no idea. Failure of some bodily function.
I'm trying to look it up and see if I can find the definition real quick. Failure of it's an anatomy type thing. And so maybe you should go look up panis. Did you mean? No, I did not. Not now. I don't know. I don't know how to spell it. Maybe it is P-A-N-I-S and a regular dictionary is not good enough. You may have to check a H8rs to find the... Anyway. Have a great...
Okay. Well, I found it in Urban Dictionary.
What does it say? Can you type it in the chat instead?
I can type it in the chat.
Type it in the chat instead. It's just not family friendly. Okay. That's fine. That's fine. So that was episode 28 of 29 of 3-part exploits. Thank you to Strictly Business. That is what it is. That is what it is.
Oh God. Okay, well that'll be a good one for next week.
Don't hit it with your knees when you walk. Yeah, buddy, that's the face I was hoping for. Episode 29 is now at an end. Like, favorite, subscribe, tweet at us, handle hashtag 3-bar exploits. Check out Strictly Business Gaming, who are doing great things, secured at least a top 4 finish in UMG Philly. Thanks. Have a great day.